Welcome to episode 10 of the Soulful Menopause podcast. Today's topic is all about sleep. Why sleep is so important, especially during menopause, and what you can do to move out of the misery of disruptive sleep patterns and into experiencing blissful, peaceful sleep instead. So stay tuned. Welcome to the Soulful Menopause podcast. Discover how to transform the chaos of menopause into vibrant health and a soulful life you'll love. I'm Sally Love, natural nutritionist and soul wisdom coach. I want you to experience a soulful menopause that'll guide you into the best years of your life. Hello, gorgeous gal. How are you doing? I hope you're feeling fine and groovy today. Groovy, man. Groovy, yeah. Peace out. I think I'm having a bit of a bohemian day today. That's great. I love it. I was born in the summer of love. I'm going to embrace it fully. Okay, so today's episode is all about sleep. Oh, my word, sleep. This is one of the most common symptoms of menopause is, having a disruption in your sleep patterns. And it's absolutely awful. If you're having some sleep issues, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. All sorts of things can, in fact, lead to sleep issues during menopause. I'm going to touch on some of those for you. But, it just feels blooming awful, doesn't it, if you're not getting enough good quality, uninterrupted sleep. We can feel, literally crap. And it can affect our lives in so many areas. Now, there's one good thing that I have here to share with you, and that's that I've prepared something for free for you. Yes, I've actually prepared for you a sleep solutions guide, and you can get that totally free. Listen to the end of this, and I'll tell you exactly how you can get your hands on that. Okay, so first of all, why do we feel so crap when we don't get enough sleep? Well, our bodies actually detoxify, restructure, and replenish when we're sleeping. It's a really important process that affects our entire well-being. And it is so incredibly stressful for your body if you're not getting enough good quality sleep. It can totally destroy your immune system. Did you know that? And I'm sure you felt the effects of it. It can actually even promote bad bacteria in your body. Poor sleep can lead to inflammation, which increases your feelings of aches and pains in your body. And it can also increase your risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes, and other serious illnesses as well. And if you're not getting enough good quality, uninterrupted sleep, did you know that it can create more wrinkles? Oh, yeah. A lack of good quality sleep can lead to premature aging, and we really don't want that, do we? No. The other thing is weight gain. When it comes to weight gain, we tend to look at what we're eating and exercise, etc. But you know what? If you're not getting enough sleep, that could be why you are getting this extra weight gain. Or at least it can be one factor in it that often gets overlooked. Now, we have a lot of hormonal disruption going on during menopause, but a lack of good quality sleep actually leads to hormonal disruption. So it's certainly something that we don't want to promote during menopause. We want to really make sure that we can get ourselves into experiencing blissful, restful, peaceful sleep at night. It's so vitally important for you right now. A lack of sleep leaves us more prone to having accidents in the home, more accidents out on the road when we're driving, which of course can be fatal. Your thinking and your learning is affected, and if you're suffering from any brain fog or memory issues, some other symptoms of menopause, if you're not getting enough sleep, it could make those a lot worse. Now, when you're tired, you get very easily distracted, you're unable to focus, so it can really affect your career pretty significantly, actually. You're more likely to make mistakes, you're more likely to feel pessimistic and not have enough energy or focus or ability to do your job 100%. You can really find it hard to function. Oh, it's awful, isn't it, when you're really tired and you feel like you're just spending your whole day wading through treacle. It's just the most awful experience. I really hate it. And, it can really lead you feeling so low, the energy goes low, your mood goes low. And a lack of sleep can lead to depression and this low mood, getting really irritable as well. It can really affect your relationships. I know certainly if I don't get enough sleep, if I get anything from 5 hours or less sleep, actually, no, I'd say 6 hours or less sleep, I become the devil. It's like, don't speak to me. I get really irritated and just awful. But once I get to that 7-hour mark and go above that, then I'm an angel. It's amazing. You can be a devil or an angel depending on how much sleep you get. Hey, I wonder if you've experienced that too. But certainly, if you've got children, you may find that your tolerance levels go down. You find yourself losing your temper a lot quicker. You get very irritated. It can affect all our relationships, not just whether you got children or not, but affect your relationships at work and your home and with your family and your friends. And actually, also if you suffer from anxiety, it can actually increase your anxiety. So you can end up feeling more and more anxious the less and less sleep you get. And even if you don't suffer from anxiety, actually, you can still start feeling that anxiousness if you're not getting enough sleep. And the other thing is that you're more likely to make bad decisions when you're tired. And these bad decisions that you make can really move you away from making healthy choices. So you can end up reaching for things like the coffee and the sugar and the unhealthy carbs and, junk food to get you through, which then just make your menopausal symptoms worse and will make your sleep worse. So you end up getting caught in a bit of a vicious cycle there. So really, sleep isn't a luxury. It's an absolute necessity. Sleep is an absolute necessity for survival and, of course, for thriving and being able to fully enjoy your life, have bags of energy and have fun and be productive and motivated and positive and joyful. We should really sort of aim for about 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep a night. Now, I keep saying uninterrupted sleep a night because quite often we can feel like we've had 8 hours of sleep, but we may have been woken up several times during that night. And when we get woken up during the night, it disrupts our sleep patterns and therefore it disrupts, the detoxification and the regeneration that our body is busily doing while we're sleeping. So good quality sleep actually reduces stress. Yes, it helps to detoxify your body. It reduces your chances of getting cancer and other serious diseases. It reduces inflammation. It keeps you looking young, keeps your energy and your vitality and your positivity up, so that you can, like I say, you can go out and have a beautiful, energized, productive day, feeling fabulous, looking fabulous. Now, the reason for poor sleep during menopause is due to a decrease in progesterone and estrogen. which is a normal process of menopause. But then we do actually have all of the chaos of menopause, which is what I speak about. Menopause puts us into this chaos, and I do like to promote this ability to be able to embrace chaos and see what's going on underneath and with this chaos, so that we can actually utilize it for the betterment of our lives. But I'm not going to be getting into that right now. But this chaos affects all of your hormones during menopause, and particularly affects your thyroid and your adrenals. And those two glands are vital for you for getting a really good night's sleep. Plus, of course, they are also very connected to your weight as well. Plus, imbalanced blood glucose levels can affect your sleep patterns, and all sorts of other factors as well. Actually, there are things such as, food allergies, aches and pains, your hot flashes, night sweats. They can all disrupt your sleep. These are the things that can just sort of like wake you up during the night. There's this total chaos that's going on in your body through the change of menopause. And this chaos of menopause alone leads to stress. And it leads to a stress in your body as well as in your life. And then this raises your cortisol levels, which severely disrupt your sleep. Stress is such an important factor here. We're bombarded with so much information at all times during the day. Very rarely are there times when we can sit in peace and quiet. And this is why I promote meditation a lot, because if you can get into a regular meditation practice, oh my word, you are very likely to see some wonderful benefits with your health and well-being. But these, all this information that we're bombarded with at times during the day, such as, TV, radio, social media, adverts, adverts when we're driving around, adverts when we're looking at magazines, adverts that pop up when we're reading something on a website, the stress of the news. Oh my word, just watching or reading the news is a huge stressor. And we don't even realize that our bodies are responding with a stress response when we're reading or watching the news, but it is happening. And I've got a little app on my phone now, which is just like in fact it's a BBC app, news app, and I look at it probably at the most once a week. I had to stop watching the news, and when I stopped watching the news, it made a huge difference. And in fact, my husband's just been doing this, and he said to me just the other day, wow, I've really noticed such a huge difference by not listening to the news. It does. I mean, try it, just maybe once a week at the most. I will scroll down and all I will do is just look at the headlines and then switch it off. And I may spend 1 minute doing that. So give it a go and let me know if you notice a difference. So yes, we're totally bombarded with all this information. Most of it is negative, even if we're thinking about living healthily, eating healthily, we're looking into ingredients when we're going shopping, just seeing if there are any artificial flavorings or colorings, or is this product organic or not? Because if it's not, it's likely to have a load more pesticides on it. And then we have our work lives and our home lives to manage. And then on top of all of this, we have menopause, the big, huge change in life, a time when we're reevaluating our lives, a time when we're moving into a new cycle of being that's bringing up loads of issues for us to actually look at and process and let go of and restructure the way we want to live this new cycle of our lives. And so, wow, how exhausting is all of that? How overwhelming is all of that? I mean, total overload. So it is absolutely vital that you learn to manage stress in your life and make sure that you are nurturing yourself on a daily basis, okay? We really need to move ourselves into a place where we can calm the mind and body down from all this noise of our daily lives so that we can just prepare ourselves for some beautiful sleep. Now, the most effective, most powerful thing to do is to set up a nighttime ritual that you can stick to. So something that's going to be nourishing, something that's going to provide you with some ultra valuable me time. Something that you can really look forward to, feel nourished by, enjoy, and relax into. Our bodies and our minds respond really, really well to ritual. So when we're doing something over and over again, it sets up a learned behavior. So when you set up a new learned behavior of this blissful nighttime ritual you put together, your body will get used to that and get into that new flow of being. Your body will get to know, okay, she's getting ready for sleep. She's getting ready for bed. And it will start moving into that flow with you. But, it's very easy to get caught up in a rut at night, especially when you're working hard and you're exhausted. It's very easy to plonk yourself down in front of the TV with a glass of wine until it's time to drag yourself off to bed at night, right? Creating a new ritual can actually even be challenging for your body and especially your mind, because you've got to pull yourself out of an old ritual that your mind and body has got used to. Your mind and body has got used to this ritual of plonking yourself down in front of the TV with a glass of wine in hand. So even if you're changing your ritual to something more nurturing, it's normal to feel resistance to that change. Your mind doesn't like change because it means that it's got to go forth into some uncharted territory, and you're pulling it out of its comfort zone, out of the things that it knows, the ways of being that it knows. You're plonking yourself down in front of the TV with a glass of wine is a reliable and safe old routine that it knows. It has a sense of comfort in that. It's got this structure where it feels safe. So you start creating new rituals and it's going to be, whoa, what's going on here? We don't normally do this. Is this exposing me to something new that I don't know about that could be disruptive for me? So what I suggest when you're putting together a new nighttime ritual is just to choose like one or two things to start off with that you feel really drawn towards, that are some really beautiful, nourishing, nurturing things that you look forward to doing. And then you can gradually add some others to that little ritual and ease your mind gently into the process. So to get you started, I've created a free guide for you called Sleep Solutions. Now, I've split this guide into 4 sections. Your bedroom. So this is going to be all about the environment in your bedroom and why that's important. For example, have you thought about the colors that are in your room? Then there's another section before you go to bed, which is some techniques that you can do to start calming your mind and your body down before you even get into bed. Then there's a section, Nurturing Nutrition. And in that section, I'm actually sharing with you my personal recipe for a comforting nighttime drink. I absolutely love this drink. When I drink this before bed, I have a much more peaceful night's sleep. So I'm sharing that with you. And then there's another section called Getting into Bed. And so that's going to give you some techniques that you can do when you're in bed to get your mind calming down and going, okay, we're actually going to go to sleep very shortly. And there are about 24 different techniques that you can choose from in this Sleep Solutions guide. So like I say, just, choose one or two that you're drawn towards and start from there. These are very powerful techniques I'm sharing with you. And if you start putting together your own personal nighttime ritual, then you are more likely to have a beautiful, peaceful night's sleep and start getting into that as a habit. You're getting into the habit of having this beautiful sleep. Like I said, it's totally free. It's my gift to you. To get your hands on the Sleep Solutions Guide, go to soulfulmenopause.com/sleep. That's soulfulmenopause.com/sleep. And I would absolutely love to hear how this works for you. I'd love to hear what your favorite techniques are and how you're implementing them in your nighttime rituals. To find out more about how you can live a soulful menopause, please visit soulfulmenopause.com. I'm really looking forward to being with you again soon. Bye for now.